What's up everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sebastian and today at Massive Sound Productions I want to continue with the second part of my huge comparison of all my custom guitars I realized together with a couple of different luthiers in the last 5 years. Before we jump into the second part of the comparison with the next category, which is on the final quality control and the setup of the guitar, let's have a quick look on the results so far and the grades of the first 3 categories, which was craftsmanship, skills and details, and communication. If you haven't seen the first part of the comparison, you might want to check this one as well to better understand how I came to the different, sometimes potentially controversial ratings and which experiences I have made which give an explanation on the sometimes significant differences between the positive surprises I had with my Arda, KD or Skervesen customs and between the slightly more average performer Overload and Siggi Brauns. Like I highlighted in my first comparison, the whole comparison, all the grades I give and comments I make are of course only reflecting my own opinion and the experiences I made, which luckily mostly were really great, but also sometimes not as I would have wished for. Of course, this doesn't mean that some of the bad things must happen to you as well, or vice versa. Even if I made some fantastic experience, it doesn't mean that human errors cannot happen to one of my favorite luthier as well. So similar like in the first part of my comparison, some of my comments and ratings surely will be slightly controversial and might lead to discussions which I'm happy to have with you guys and look very much forward to. But now, let's have a look at the final quality control and how well the setup of the guitars has been done by the 5 luthiers we look at today. Again, on all my Ardas, Skervesens and my KD, there isn't a lot to criticize. All have been sent out to me in a pristine condition, perfectly finished, no sharp edges, for example on the fretboard or the frets, flawless installed hardware bridge and pickups. All the screws were at the place you would expect them to be in an optimal case, and last but not least they all came in a practicable gator case, which all 3 of them filled with some additional foam to make it even more safe for shipping. The KD even came with a glassy polishing cloth, which is a pretty nice extra. If something could be done even better on the Arda or KD, then I would like to have some type of certificate of authenticity, summarizing the specs of the custom guitar. I know that's only a small detail in the end, but I just love such little details a lot, and especially on such individual guitars like the ones we are talking today. This is something which I feel should be standard. So if you watch this Kostadin and Olmo, please add one to your amazing guitars. It makes you feel even more proud owning an insane unique instrument like these. In addition, all three have done a great job on the setup. All guitars came in the right tuning and strings I wanted them to have. The intonation was spot on and I directly felt at home playing them. The string height on my second Arda potentially could have been done even better, but this I corrected within 10 minutes. All these points in the end sum up to a very well deserved 1- for both the Arda as well as the KD, and a best in class 1 for Skervesen, which deliver an absolutely professional overall package here. Again, for those who might have seen my separate video on the Overlord rear already, the positive as well as some of the negative points might not be a surprise to you anymore. Like I have indicated in my first video, some of the hardware, for example the hipshot bridge, hasn't been installed as it should be, and in addition to that, the guitar, including the certificate, which at least has been included with the rear, haven't been properly secured for shipping. Even though it came in a gator case, the guitar could move by quite a lot. Luckily, the guitar still arrived safe, but because of the poor packaging, the certificate has been damaged during shipping. With some better packaging, this could have been avoided for sure. In addition, the setup wasn't like I would expect it on such an expensive instrument with a pretty high string height and a not fully correct intonation. Again, something which I could improve quite easily, but especially for someone who hasn't done this before and just wants a guitar which comes out of the box ready to play, this is a little hassle. Having still an overall satisfying impression on the rear gets a 3- from me in this category. It actually makes me pretty sad that I can't really say anything great about Siggi in this category here. After what I've experienced and when looking at the horrible craftsmanship, it's surely not a huge surprise that I actually doubt that there is any quality control at all. I don't want to get into all the details of the problems I and also some of my friends had, but when you send your guitar back to get all the things which I mentioned in my first part of this comparison fixed, and you received once again a guitar which looks like it has been played intensively over the last 20 years, this is a total no-go and for sure something which is not acceptable, not only in this price range we are talking here. Another letdown were the included cases, which feel pretty cheap and which were way too big for the ordered Telecasters. Again, for the price you are paying for a Siggi Braun, that's another letdown, especially as my old Siggi Braun Axes, which I bought used some years ago, all came in robust SCC cases. The overall good setup on my customs at least prevent a complete fail in this category and save a well-manned 5 for Siggi. Coming to our last category, the overall value for money, which naturally already is some type of conclusion as it summarizes all the previous results and brings them into relation with the hard-earned money you need to spend for these axes. Starting again with Arda, where I can only say that the overall value for money is just outstanding and literally hard to beat, at least from my perspective and what I have seen and experienced so far. In the end, you get a completely unique instrument which is perfectly built for a price tag where it's pretty much impossible to find even a non-custom axe with similar specs. No more words needed. Olmo deserves a perfect 1 here. Similar with KD, which in the end offers a similar package for a slightly higher price when comparing it with similar specs. Due to the little advantage, I see Arda slightly ahead here, but in the end my conclusion is pretty comparable and with a 1- still absolutely remarkable. With similar specs, the Overload is in a similar ballpark price-wise, but neither can reach the quality, customizability or the overall service level of the already mentioned Arda or KD. If you look at the overall package you get here, the money you need to put on the table for an Overload is still correctly placed in the overall market environment. And as the overall value for money of the rear is on a satisfactory level, I can give it a respectable 3. Looking at my Siggi Brauns customs, it's not surprising that I was honestly expecting a completely different result to what I received in the end. And when thinking about the custom guitars playing in a significantly higher price league, things are not getting better. Just as a rough indicator, for a similar spec'd guitar, like for example my Ardas, you would surely end up paying twice the money. Pushing some of the bad things which happened to me to the back of my mind, I would give Siggi an acceptable 4 on value for money. Last but not least, Skervesen, where you receive a super professional overall package for a fair price, especially when you look at some of their closest competitors on the market. In the end, it's not that easy to compare the products of a small luthier doing full custom work with the still pretty customizable guitars from a bigger player, which Skervesen already is. Looking at their great guitars and what you are paying for them, it feels very satisfactory to me, and therefore I would rate them with an incredible 2 on value for money. After these 2 extensive videos, we came to the end of my overview of the custom guitar journey I went through within the last 5 years, which I hope was either interesting or maybe even helpful for you. It surely was the most lengthy, but also by far the most difficult to make video, where I had to think about the individual messages which I wanted to give for quite a while. As you can see on the overall result, the journey wasn't always a full success, but sometimes unfortunately a rocky path with quite some ups and downs. Even though I made some, let's say it like that, not fully fulfilling experiences, I can still highly recommend choosing the custom guitar path. In the most of the cases you will end up not only with a unique but also fantastically built axe which fits to you and your needs like a glove and represents you as an artist much better than typically a stock guitar can do. My idea of doing this video here was to make your decision on choosing the right custom guitar luthier potentially a little bit easier by sharing some of the experiences I made over the last 3 years. And I really hope that these 2 videos I made here were of help for you. There are quite a lot of things to think about when going through the decision process for the right custom guitar company. Actually, I had to learn and still continue to do so what in the end makes such a custom guitar project a success, and which are the most important things you shouldn't make compromises. This mustn't always be the same things for you like for me, so thinking carefully about what is important for you before placing an order is a time which is very well invested. Also in the future, I will try my best to share with you all my experiences and to make it even easier for you to compare my upcoming custom guitar projects with the ones we looked at today. I will stick with the rating system for my future custom Axis reviews. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you don't want to miss upcoming videos similar to the one today, please support my little channel by subscribing, liking, or by hitting the notification bell. There are already a couple of other customs in the making, and as soon as they have been finalized, I'm planning to do reviews on them as well. In addition, I have a lot of ideas and plans for more, so stay tuned. But coming back to today's comparison. In the end, you can easily see that we have 3 clear winners, and dependent on what you are looking for and where you want to set your priorities, you should be able to find the right luthier for your needs and taste between Arda, KD and Skervesen. Even though I had great hopes for both Overlord as well, and actually even more for Siggi Brauns, I unfortunately was quite disappointed how these projects went in the end. And it wasn't only my own experience I've made, but also the similar unsatisfactory experience from some of my friends and what I've heard from other customers, which in the end brings me to the conclusion that I can't fully recommend these two and why I won't include them anymore in my future selection when it comes to the decision on another custom Axe. Do I still enjoy playing my Siggis? For sure. Especially the older ones I bought used some years ago are fantastic guitars, but in the end I think you will get a more satisfying product and custom experience on some of the other luthiers. So this was my custom guitar comparison video, which I hope you enjoyed and which potentially gave you some guidance on what to look for in your own custom guitar, or might even help you in your decision for one of the mentioned luthiers. If you liked my video today and you don't want to miss any other upcoming ones, don't forget to support my channel by leaving a like or by subscribing. If you have any questions or want to share your thoughts with me, please leave me a comment. I appreciate your feedback a lot and always try to answer as soon as I can. So that's all for today. Thank you again very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon on my channel.